Well, indeed, thank you for staying with us for this second part of the show. Mary Mungai, Commissioner of Cooperatives, still here with us. And we basically want to engage on what exactly is the perspective ahead of the International Day of Cooperatives, which is this Saturday, the 7th of July. Now, back to our conversation. And for me, as we close, the most important thing that is out there is the fact that the average age of a Kenyan farmer, north of 60, look at the market, millennials. When we talk about the fact that part of the Big Four agenda is agriculture and food security, and the fact that cooperatives make up a huge chunk of this sector, how then do we start to talk to the youth about modernizing of markets, engaging them in fruitful, productive, and technologically driven agriculture?
Thank you very much. Because again, as we said, cooperatives are going to play very big in the food security of this country. And one of the focus now for cooperatives is value addition of the products. We know most of the youth don't want to go and toil on the farm, but when it comes to value addition, I think they are very ideal. What we are thinking about is that people there out there, actually, they need first to go and talk to a county officer if they want to form a cooperative. Because we have opportunities in value addition for milk, for coffee, which, again, is a big thing for the cooperative movement and Kenyans, and even for the economy of Kenya. They form cooperatives on advice and working along with the county officers, because, again, we don't want them to go and plug themselves into an organization they don't understand. Because on value addition, the primary cooperatives have been doing a wonderful job for bulking, but value addition has been a challenge. And this is where the youth, we are saying they can come and they can market the coffee online and do many other things. So there's an opening there. The other thing is on the issue of health. Again, cooperatives are playing a part in this. Some of the county cooperatives in the counties are actually the acting agents of NHIF. We have insurance company like CIC, which is reaching out to cooperatives primarily because it's a cooperative driven, and also reaching into the small, medium entrepreneurs. So the issue of manufacturing is where we want to engage our youth. And we have opportunities because value addition technology is there. So those are things we are saying. But I want to tell them, if you want to register a cooperative, definitely you must have a minimum of 10 people. The project that you want or the activity that you want to carry must be viable. We don't want to start and tomorrow you are off. So we normally request a viability study, and then they talk to our counties. There are bylaws that we have templates, model bylaws that are I mean, they can be downloaded from the web. On the www.industrialization.go cooperative. So they can download those ones and actually ask the county officers to help them fill. The fee to register a cooperative is only 3,700. That is what the national government
So 300 shillings per member.
Yeah, so it is very minimal. But as you said, cooperative really, if we are to develop this country, we must use the cooperative model because of economies of scale.
Mary Mungai, asante sana.
So, I just wanted to wrap up and tell people, please come out for the Ushirika Day. This is our day.
On Saturday.
We need to support it. We need to come and talk to one another and take stock of what we have done and where we are going, because the opportunity in cooperatives are too many, and this is the time to talk and understand one another. Okay,
unfortunately, we are out of time for the interview, but of course to say that we will be back to this conversation because the struggle continues and there's lots of youth out there who need the sort of mentorship that we are able to give. Asante sana for your time.
Asante.
Well, away from that conversation and to another area that will also need a lot of cooperatives. Now, Kenya has been, in the recent past, been struggling with the trade of counterfeit goods that has put people's lives in not just danger, but also problems. The main victims being motor vehicle traders and their customers. Now, generic parts are a lot of times said to be imported by unscrupulous traders from the Far East. Is this the case? Julia Wino has that story.
Influx of counterfeit automobile spare parts in the Kenyan market has been on the rise. Customers have been victims, as have been some of the traders and mechanics who sell them in genuine spare parts. Kefa Momanyi has been in the mechanic business for close to 5 years in Mwiki in Kasarani. He says he does not deal in fake parts and will never use them on a client's car. We started by asking him what is the first thing he does when customers come here.
Akikuja lazima usikize customer, shida ya customer. Sisi ni kama madaktari wa watoto.
And how can we genuinely tell when a product is genuine or not?
Hii ni ungenuine na this is genuine. Hii ukitumia hii I rust wrong. Unaweza fanya service after 2 weeks tena bado oil ina leak. That's why ina cost paka unapata gari zina knock engine. Hii ukitumia hii ina last to service. So that's why I prefer utumie genuine.
Julius Mwangi from Isuzu East Africa, one of the dealers, says security of customers should be a key priority to anyone in the industry. Training is also necessary for all interested parties on selling spare parts and also when one is interested in being a mechanic.
And to avoid any time them having non-genuine parts, we do frequent monitoring and training them and showing them the benefit of never ever using or always using genuine parts.
Many customers prefer interacting more with insurance companies.
Whenever a customer has, unfortunate, it requires to do vehicles to be repaired due to the insurance or due to the accident. What we do, we have engaged them, explained to them, and invariably they have realized it is cheaper to go through our deal outlet.
As some customers are fighting counterfeit from one end, others seem to be pulling from the other direction as well. The pull and push game is brought about by those who prefer cheap to expensive. For example, the oil lubricant that can give service for 5,000 kilometers goes for 1,800 Kenyan shillings. The fake one goes for 1,000 shillings.
Especially so for the matatus and for all the trucks, the cost is higher than when you use genuine parts. Why? Because it takes longer for you to go service the vehicle when you are using the genuine parts. When you are using the genuine parts, you have to frequently do it. And we have calculated and realized for a matatu, you have a saving of around that 1,000 in a year when you are using genuine parts.
Counterfeiting in automobile parts therefore has caused adverse economic harm, defraud to consumers, unfair competition to legitimate business, and has posed a danger to public health and safety. Hence the concern on the study of counterfeited spare parts. Julie Owino, KTN News.
Well, off the back of that conversation there around what exactly is happening in terms of, well, motor vehicle repair and looking at the status of counterfeits or originality in the entire sector. Now, Martin Nyakundi is CEO at the Kenya Motor Vehicle Repairers Association, KEMRA. Well, Japheth Ogutu is Executive Director, Consumer Downtown Kenya Consumer Rights Advocacy Lobby. They're both here in studio to speak into that conversation, especially from the perspective that insurance companies now demand that they work with a certain kind of person when it comes to repairing and maintaining your vehicle, and that they are indeed the standards. Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you so much.
I'll start off with you, Martin, and start from the perspective that a lot of this country is jua kali. Jua kali doesn't necessarily mean lack of standards or poor quality, but it is a fact that there has been a lack of standardization of motor repair for a very long time. Why do you think this is the case?
Just before going there, I should say something about KEMRA.
Yes.
So that now we can be able to get that perspective. Mm-hmm. KEMRA is a lobby group for motor repairers in Kenya.
Yes.
Which aims at the standards are already set by KEBS, but which we again work together to come up with the standards for motor repair, so that those standards are maintained. We know there is the informal sector, but for us it's an association of all formal motor repairers in Kenya, so that from the entire country. And the main aim is that you realize from the 4 development agenda items, even for the president, there's the blue-collar sector. The blue-collar sector now, the motor repair industry, must be regulated.
Yes.
Because a bad preparation, you saw the other day there was a vehicle that was tied with ropes, and then it overturned.
Yes.
This is a very important sector because poor motor repair will cause accidents to the pedestrians, to cause accidents to commuters, and therefore it is, and NTSA has said that poor motor repair is a source of accidents. So we have come in, we have been around since 2002, but it has been a challenge now to make members understand why we should have an association, why we should come together so that we can collectively ensure that standards, professionalism, quality is done. And based on the Consumer Protection Act, we are now there to ensure that.
Okay, let's bring in Japheth at this juncture. The fact that your organization represents consumers, and for a very long time again, this even today, consumers are left to their own devices when it comes to motor vehicle repair. I have seen instances where people repair the same thing year after year after year, either because of lack of knowledge and that sort of thing. What exactly is being done to help rein in this situation?
Thank you very much, Peter. One, I'll begin by saying consumer protection is very key to promote the Big Four agenda that the President promulgated the other day. And again, consumer protection is also promoted in different spheres of the economy. But again, Consumer Downtown Association is one of the consumer protection organizations that protects the interests of consumers in this country. And you see, it is just a lack of information. A lot of consumers should be sensitized on provisions of the law. Because today, as we speak, we have the law that protects the interests of consumers. When you read actually Section 49 of Consumer Protection Act, it talks about repairers, submitting back those parts that they've removed from a car or from whichever machine they are trying to fix. They should bring them back to the owner after replacing the new ones. And again, when you read the same act on Section 51, it also talks about return of. It also talks about a guarantee. What you're now saying, the repairer should be able to guarantee, those reconditioned parts or replaced parts, the new parts that have been replaced in a motor vehicle, or even in any other machine. It could be a refrigerator or any other thing. They should be able to guarantee those parts for a period of 90 days. Or if it is a car, it has to go up to 5,000 kilometers. And you see, if it doesn't last up to 5,000 kilometers, then you have every reason to hold them accountable so that they compensate.
I want to bring Martin back in here. And the fact of the matter is, well, that might actually be put down. Because of the informality of this sector and the lack of knowledge amongst consumers, it is often very hard to be able to hold people to these standards. What do you think needs to be the way
One
forward?
of the things we have come up with, we have now a motor vehicle repair and service book. When you take a vehicle to a particular garage, first of all, let me tell you that if that garage does not belong to an association, how sure are you that you will find it there tomorrow if you leave your car
How
there?
do you know it belongs to an association in the first place? How do we recognize
all camera members? There's a very big. First of all, we inspect that garage. It must. There are some mandatory standards that it must have, and we have inspectors who are trained and who are members of the Engineers Association. They are the ones who inspect. After we are sure that this person has lived to the standards, because we have again categories A, B, and C, then they must have a very big placard at the reception. They must have a reception with a placard. They are camera members with rules and guidelines and with how much they should charge.
Just to stop you right, a lot of people will say my garage is Juakali. There is not even a reception. It's simply a guy under a tree somewhere or by the roadside or on the street in Nairobi. And that's the situation for most people.
So we have that category amongst ourselves because we feel even if it is informal, we call them in the informal sector because they are there. We cannot assume that they are not there. So we also try to see how we can bring them in and what are the bare minimum standards so that if they don't attain those standards, then it means they cannot be our members. Then they will belong to another association. Because as my brother has just said, we must guarantee. And for us to be able to guarantee, there are some standards. For instance, we have a repair and service book. When you take your car for repair, in that book, they have to show what has been repaired. And then they mark it, and then they stamp. There is a complimentary book in the garage. So that if that vehicle gets an accident and it can be attributed to what has been repaired, then our garage is accountable. So the repair book is very important. We want to get out from that trend where you take your vehicle and then they write a small slip when you should go there again for servicing. That is the first thing.
A piece of paper.
Not just a piece of paper. It's a book which shows the historical repair of the vehicle from last year to this year, because it's a big book. Yes. I know if you buy a new car from Toyota or from Didi Dobi, they will give you the book of life. Yes. But now there are various second-hand vehicles that come which don't have the book, or where it is written maybe in Japanese and they don't understand. So that is one of the areas which we have gone to.
Let me bring Japheth back in. The issue of cost. For a lot of people, it is often a balance between adhering to these standards and going to what may be a posh garage, vis-a-vis the cost, the money that you're going to pay for the services and goods that you see. Although I know that cheap is expensive, where is the balance between this sort of thing?
Let me answer you directly. You look at Section 52 of Consumer Protection Act. It talks about the costing and estimates.
Yes.
What is expected to be, the cost is expected to be given by the repairer. In fact, the law is saying you should not overestimate those costs, whether they are going to be paid by insurance or the customer himself or herself. And again, what is bringing an issue here is the issue, the war between insurance companies and garages.
Yes.
You find that the insurance companies want to, to take in the responsibility of garages.
Yes.
Deviating from their sole responsibility of just covering the compensating on the vehicle that has got an accident. Now, the part of repairing and even, bringing back dictating on the spares to be used, which garage to take your car, this is not their responsibility.
Yes.
And this is where we have...
and they might not even be competent.
Yeah, and you see what is happening today. They are even setting up service yards.
Yes.
For their own, where they can refer those cars. And you see, people manning those service yards are unprofessional people. These are brokers. These are cartels who just want to benefit from the system. And I think they are very cheap.
Yes.
They're very cheap, and they compete genuine garage repairers.
Yes.
Genuine garage repairers, people who are professionals in this area, they underquote.
Yes.
They underquote, so that they win the tenders. In essence, they are going to get, they are going to procure fake products, substandard products, because they have underquoted for them to win that tender. Leaving alone the genuine spare, repairers who would have, have done that work.
Unfortunately, we are out of time.
Yes.
But this is a thing that is of indeed national interest.
Yeah.
A lot of people struggle with their vehicles. I personally have had an experience where I had to wait 6 months for a vehicle to be repaired and that sort of thing. So I would suggest that we come back to it in the near future, even go to a garage so that we can start to see what these things look like, the ones that you're talking about, and so that our viewers can have the benefit of really seeing what this conversation means and where it does lead.
But I think the issue of traceability, we should emphasize on the issue of traceability. We want all the garages, all the garages to get registered. They either subscribe to camera or they get legally registered.
Is that enforceable?
Actually, if I can, actually to say that,
so that
what
we
you
can
said,
trace them.
The IRA guidelines, guideline 9.31 and 9.32 require that the accident vehicles should be taken to garages that belong to an association. It is it's actually a requirement from IRA, which was published in 2012. But that is being contravened, and that is now the challenges we have. Because if a garage does not belong to an association, there are so many things that cannot be guaranteed. So maybe because you have said because of time, we have our website, www.kemra.co.ke, where we educate members and we tell them so many things. We try to talk about new standards in the market. Remember, right now vehicles are moving on from they are becoming hybrid, electronic, and so those repairers
they don't understand.
Who just who trained a long time ago may not understand. They may spoil your car. So those are some of the things that we do. I wish we could have enough time so that we can.
We definitely will provision for enough time in the future. Unfortunately, we are out of time. But a lot to talk about, and I'll tell you, because this is just a start. And for me, I'm sure you live and see there's so much interest in what we are talking about, and we want to come back to it at a future date. But thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Well, on that note, we have to leave it there, unfortunately, but to remind you that in just a few minutes, we'll be your KTN from the Swahili desk. But the conversation continues online, and of course, here on KTN Business Today, we'll be here again tomorrow at the same time. Do continue to enjoy the rest of your viewing. My name is Peter Wakaba. Until next time, kwaheri ya kuonana.